obviously great physical team and great physical game by them. I thought we did a great job competing at a high level. I thought they made us kind of play a different way in the paint than we have been previously used to, which was good for us. I think it's an experience that we're going to love and look back on the season and enjoy it. Right now it hurts, it stings, and I think we understand what we need to continue to do to make our progress go and make our process improve. So, obviously a good experience for us, and we get back at it next week.
CJ, what do you think changed after the first 25 minutes where you guys were fighting and then they kind of pulled away?
Honestly, we just kept fighting. Sometimes stuff is going to go your way, so it's the name of the game. Basketball's a game to run, so we just keep working, keep finding ourselves, and keep playing the best basketball we can.
CJ, what was it like to play in Madison Square Garden in front of the crowd there?
It was fun for a little second until it was over.
Anything else for the players?
I mean, felt like you guys had a little bit of a rhythm offensively late in the first half. What allowed you guys to kind of settle in, and then how did they take you out of it?
To be honest, every time we play good, it's like Coach Rowe. He talks to us in a positive way, and as soon as we play together, we play good. And I mean, at the end, we kind of spread out, and then we didn't stick together anymore. But we will work on it, and we'll be better.
For either one of you two guys, it seems like when Sellers started to make shots in the second half, that's kind of where they got their distance. How different is St. John's when they've got that thing working?
I feel like anytime you let a good shooter get good shots, I mean, that's what happens. I don't think it's a St. John's thing. It's just us working on ourselves and just keep tuning up, just understanding who we're guarding and what we're trying to limit.
CJ, you made a lot of tough shots in the paint. What was the biggest experience in terms of facing these guys in the paint that
I think coaches just preach patience. So as far as that's just going to the paint with confidence and not, just getting down there playing the Big East team with a lot of physicality, a lot of size, just sticking to our strengths, understanding that, we're very capable to be on the floor with them and to play at a high level. So I think that's just something we just learn from. We just keep building on.
Next question for the players right here.
Well, what do you think is going to be part of that learning experience and reflection for you that Coach was talking about coming off of today?
I mean, we just got to stick together, and then we're going to play better. That's how I feel like it.
It was pretty tight for a good part. I mean, the final score is not indicative of how competitive the game was for a good chunk. I always wondered, I think it was when you guys had 44 points, I think St. John's was up 4 or 6 at that point, and a couple balls were an inch off the rim, and if a couple minutes after, I just always wonder if those are the moments that haunt you when you look back at a game like that, or it's just my perception.
Yeah. Coaching's a haunting life. You know what I mean? A big piece to me as well, playing in these games and winning so many when I played at Richmond, our first halves we were able to stack it together. But I had to experience that in a lot of negative ways first, where we couldn't do this. And I'm so proud of our guys because the fact that I can coach them on that part of it. Hey, we should have been up more in the first half. Shows to where we were competitiveness-wise and talent-wise, and I think that was a big piece for us trying to put this team together. And we've obviously had success and been fortunate in that regard. So then when you look at the second half, you're seeing yourself in 1, 2, 3 possession games for a majority of it, and then obviously when you miss those, the great part about St. John's and what we tried to do our best was then they're in transition. And usually it's the rim for them. Tonight was threes, and I'll be honest, that was a big part of the game plan, was to make them do that, and it was they made us pay, which was good for them.
and you get off to the 10-2 start? We talked the other day about how it was important to start the way you accustomed to starting. How many positives can you take away from that first half and the first few minutes of the second?
Yeah, a ton. Again, I'm gonna preach it a lot, but our defense really showed up, and I think that was especially early on. And the game plan was the game plan, and I think they're starting to understand the process of what we're after. Piggybacking off the Bryant game, I think those were 2 big steps for us, and obviously Sacred Heart as well. And that Sunday, we actually had, I feel our process progressing, which is, I think, crucial for this time of year and where we're headed. And yeah, that's what I told them in the locker room just now. It was 10-2. I think we had an open look to make it like 12-2 or 13-2. Then it goes 10-5. You need to continue to extend that. So instead of the flip happening where they go up 15-12, it ends up being something where it's like 17-15 us. That's how you kind of control the first half.
You look at kind of some of the more physical teams you guys have played, St. John's, but yeah, they were able to wear you down in the second half. What can you guys do in the future, kind of maybe not be worn down by some of the more physical teams on the MAC schedule?
Yeah, I think the big piece is to continue to understand what the paint looks like for us. We're a very unique team. We play 11 guys pretty consistently. Spacers, handlers, bigs, like what each spacing set looks like, I think is where we're headed, and it's getting pretty clear to us. I think that's a good one for us. And I know obviously the free throw disparity was there, but to have 38 points in the paint was a big step for us as we realized what they were doing and what they were trying to take away. And I thought that was Lamine growing in a game like this and being able to do some things that we've been in his PD work doing, I thought was really beneficial for where we're headed.
When you take a look at the film study as you got ready for this game, Sellers hasn't shot the ball very well the last couple of games. I mean, he does have a reputation as being a good shooter. When you're trying to make them beat you from three, how impactful is it when he finds it in the second half?
Yeah, I think the tough part was it was in transition. And then he had the one top of the key versus our zone off the dribble where he answered ours. Those ones are difficult because that's beating the game plan. And I think that's where obviously St. John's, great team, high aspirations for where they're going, and they were able to feel that, read that game plan, and be able to succeed against it. I thought that was a big step for them.
Dan, you've been on that bench before in this building, but now you're here leading your own program. So I'm curious if you've had a moment to think about the meaning of that.
Yeah, I shared it more with the staff than the players. You go through Jesus, yeah. You're taking me back now, but you go through game 3, first playoffs post-COVID, where the Garden could be sold out, and it was sold out. And the national anthem goes on, and the Knicks come out and just whoop us. You know what I mean? That game 3 was not a good one for us. Speaking about haunting life. But I think being able to experience that, it was obviously great at the NBA level. But being able to feel the Garden with Iona and with St. John's, that's something we need to continue to do. I know Coach Patino talked about it. He talked with me about it as well. We want to continue this thing and have this holiday game happen. I see we got the 15,803. I think that's doable for the future. I'm hopeful that they continue to answer our call when we do that. We love it. It's a great experience for our guys, our university. And for where we're after as our university is growing, for me to be able to lead or be a part of the leadership group of where this place is going, I feel so fortunate to be able to step on that floor. I'm so grateful for the opportunity consistently in this building specifically because it's a special one, and I hope we just continue to get more bites at the apple to be here.
How important is it regionally to be playing in the Garden
Yeah.
for Iona University?
Yeah, it's great. I think that's what we are. That's what we believe we're after. That's why we went from Iona College to Iona University. We're growing. We're growing, and we're a snowball of momentum in a forward thinking direction, and that's why. I mean, that was a big reason I said yes to this thing, and that's why regionally I know us in the Garden makes sense, and the more we can do it, the better.
Another big step forward for Cozy as he makes his way back. How encouraging was that?
Yeah, I thought it was great. It's I tell them all the time, when I was built like that, when I played, no. When you have that ability to get to that paint like that, it's got to be instinctual to put pressure on the rim. I know he's trying to really feel out the rhythm with the shooting and with the different. He's playing a different lineup tonight, which was good. I thought that was beneficial for us going forward, and I like where he's at. I love that kid. He's so able to put together what we're after and what we're trying to progress him in, and then he's able to marry that up with the gameplay, and that was good for us, I think, going forward.
Coach, you talked about being grateful for the opportunity to coach at Iona. Can you just talk about how grateful you are for CJ Anthony and what he's made so far
Man.
this year?
When we saw the film on him, it was all practice film. He didn't miss a shot. He was smart. Smart to send it. I think a personality like that is so unusual. 4-year walk-on, I mean, minimal play, minimal film, and to be that tough-minded and to be that, even to stay at Cincinnati. That's where I was at when I was like really, picking at him to see what his psychology was behind that player. So for him to be able to do that and see it through and now have this opportunity at a place like Iona, where winning is a high standard, that's how I got this job. You know what I mean? It's a high standard, and it's a tradition that's like none other in our area and in our conference. So for him to take that head on and be able to do this has been awesome, and I'm really, really grateful for him.
Dan, that was a tough second half, I know, but I'm sure it was a tremendous experience to be back at the Garden either way. So how do you come back from a loss like that?
Yeah, I think it's just part of our process, and now we have a little bit of rest here before we go up to Vermont. And I think in our process, it's a good thing for us. We competed on the defensive boards, we outscored them in the paint. So now it's about looking at that film and seeing where our process goes from there.